It most certainly was, Ed. What a phenomenal horse race. I've made my way into the analysis hub, joined by Ruby Walsh. We're going to reflect on how I Am Maximus scooped Grand National victory. The start, seemingly, all went to plan, but Mr. Incredible, our eyes were firmly drawn to him. Yeah, he was
quite deliberate. Let's turn around and have a look at it. But the start was good. Look, they walked up and got under control. Glengouly burst forward, the horse at the top of the shot in red under Michael O'Sullivan. He got him back under control. But Mr. Incredible was really reluctant. Brian Hayes got him in the middle there in the light blue colours beside the red and blue. And when the tape goes, he's only half thinking about going. And Brian has to roust him along to get him going. But unfortunately, that is Mr. Incredible. He is Mr. Unreliable.
I know it's a race to expect the unexpected. I don't think anyone expected Corach Rambler to part ways with Derek Fox at the first.
No, I wouldn't have thought so. He got a good break on the front end, down to the first fence, and Grand National glory's over in a heartbeat.
What happens?
Just over jumps, pitches out in his head, nods, nose goes to the ground, and Derek goes out over his ears.
Very uncharacteristic from Corach Rambler, who was hoping to win back-to-back Grand Nationals, but as I say, him and Derek Fox parted ways at the first.
Yeah, and bang down the inside is the winner, I Am Maximus, who goes left. That's what really suited him, and you'll see it now, fine Avon and fences like that, the difference that it made for I Am Maximus. But he's banged down the inside under Paul Townend. Delta Work was never too far away from him. He's just behind him there under Jack Kennedy, and Minella Indo will get him in the lander. My highlighter will stick on it. He's right in front of him on the Rachel Blackmore. They're the first three home.
At this stage, it's Glengouly out in front. Foxy Jacks also up with the pace, but it's a very conscious decision that from Paul Townend to be on the left-hand side.
You could see him there. If you keep watching I Am Maximus, anytime you see on the white cap and the green towards the inside, he shimmies to his left quite a bit. But what was great to watch, Ollie, from a point of view of the race, was the space that all the riders gave each other. They created room. You're running in a straight line from the start all the way to Beecher's Brook, and there was no huddle like we had last year. It's 10 out of 10 to everyone that rode in this race. It's their responsibility too, and they fanned out and used as much of the track as they could.
Fifth fence at this stage, pretty plain sailing for the leading fancies, barring Corach Rambler, of course, but a few horses struggling out the back.
Yeah, Stattler and Mr. Incredible are dropping to the very back of the shot. Stattler doesn't get much further, and Mr. Incredible, yeah, he gets all the way to the chair, but he was struggling by the time he got to there. This is Beecher's coming up.
Next up, Beecher's Brook. What are the riders thinking about with regards to this fence?
Not as much as they used to, because obviously it's been modified, but still it's Beecher's Brook. It's a sixth fence. You're turning when you land. There is still a little bit of a drop, not too much, but they all took it in their stride, didn't they?
Foinavon, next up, the famous fence that saw a lot of fallers and unseats a few years ago. It meant the 100-to-1 winner. Foinavon was able to land the prize, but no incidents here.
No incidents here. Again, I Am Maximus on the inside. When he lands, he shimmies off to his left. He's in an ideal position for Paul Townend, and he must have had a dream round. Now, Canal Turn, Delta Work in the blue cap, and Limerick Lace, who's back here at the bottom of the shot with the green cap. Delta Work in the blue gets squeezed in, and Limerick Lace coming from behind ends up running into the back of a cul-de-sac and gets wiped out as well, and that was the end of her chance.
Given the nature of the fence, it's no surprise that they get a bit congested, and a few horses are bumping into each other.
Yeah, it is. Everyone's coming right to left, and it's like running into a funnel, and that's what happens. And you know, some people get tighter than they wish to get. Valentine's, Stattler's about to pull up. He's coming into the bottom of your shot, and he's well and truly gone. But yeah, look, that was Limerick Lace's chance ruined at the back for Mark Walsh, and that was disappointing for him.
Noble Yeats, actually, interestingly, he was struggling out the back.
Yeah, he was never really going, Noble Yeats. You know, it's his third attempt at the race, and you know, I thought he was disappointed in the stairs hurdle too, but look, it wasn't his day, but you know, he'll have another day. Harry Cobden was poking away on him, and Mahler Mission going out the bottom of the shot. He never really got going either, and Mahler Mission, when he comes back in now going to this ditch, he's the last horse you're going to see coming into shot. He makes a mistake at the ditch on the first circuit.
Yeah, Mahler Mission's jumping was just never really there today, was it?
No, he never got into a flow, never really got into the rhythm that he wanted to be in. Glengouly was bowling away, Foxy Jacks behind him, Eldorado Allen, the grey, Farouk D'Alene, the white cap, Minella Crooner, black and white, and down the inside, the grey Coko Beach was in a great position as well. But they're heading to the third last on the first circuit, and I'm sure Jack Tudor was pretty happy with where he was on Kitty's Light. We'll highlight him again now in a second. He's here in the middle, just inside Galia Des Liteaux, and yeah, I'd say he was happy with where he was.
Not far away from the chair, a few fences away, but at this stage you can see how bunched up it is. There's 28, 29 horses within about 7 lengths of each other.
There was, but I'd say Paul Townend was absolutely chuffed with where he is on I Am Maximus. Right inside Vanillier on the inside. Outside him with the quarter cap is Meeting of the Waters. The blue cap Janidil is just outside him. But I can't imagine everything we can see, other than maybe Harry Cobden and Mac Tottie at the back, I can't imagine too many were worried. Now, going to the chair, we're going to lose the two blues towards the back together. They are Mahler Mission and Mr. Incredible, one behind the other as they head to the chair. And Mahler Mission in front, he ends up falling, and Mr. Incredible bumps into the back of him, and Brian Hayes comes off the side door.
It was a bit of a domino effect, wasn't it?
Just there, yeah, it was a domino effect, but that's what happens in the Grand National. That's where you have to try and keep a bit of space in front of you, because it's so unpredictable as to what's going to happen.
Actually, I Am Maximus wasn't too fluent at the chair.
No, that was one of the few mistakes he made. You heard Willie referencing it and talking about not getting a feel off him, but if you stand up in the grandstand, you can only see a couple of fences anyway, so the chair is right in front of him, but that was the one bit of a mistake that he made. But as they head away from the stands, Gina Andrews is slipping forward, and Latenightpass, she had a great ride on him at the top of your shot, and they're heading out on the second circuit.
Yeah, this is the water jump. Horses who are, you know, bang there include kitties like I'm sure Betsy and Tilly watching would have been loving what they were seeing.
I'd say they were getting a real thrill, but as you see how tight it gets as they head away from the stands, like they're in blocks of 5 almost, one behind the other, and making their way out in the second circuit. Glengouly has probably done too much in front, and no one is really too worried about him, I can't imagine. But yeah, again, who's disappointed? Mac Tottie, he's about to drop out, and I'd say Mark Walsh knows, and Limerick Lace, after that mistake at the canal turn, that he's going to need a miracle. A
Panda Boy was tipped up by plenty. I thought he'd run a big race. I didn't think he was ever travelling too well.
No, he's there in the grey. He looks to be going okay here, Ollie. He's across the Melling Road to head out in the second circuit. He's just going inside the Goffer, and he's right beside Meetingofthewaters. But no, he's run with short-lived, and actually when he landed there, you could see JJ Slevin changing his hands, and that's never really a good sign.
How much did that mistake for Limerick Lace early on impact her chances?
Hugely. She lost her position. She's right at the back of the field. The momentum she would have lost as well, and it makes it really difficult. But you could see I Am Maximus heading off again to his left on the inside. He's following Coko Beach, who's a really good jumper. Delta works just in front of him in the blue cap, and Rachel Blackmore taking off now in the maroon with the yellow stars. There's the 1, 2, 3, and they're in a line, one behind the other, towards the inside of the track.
I tell you what, David Maxwell got some spin out of Ain't That a Shame. He's eventually finished 6th.
Eklat De Rire made a bad mistake at that ditch, bottom of your shot, and that probably put paid to his chance as we head on to the next. All good at this, I do believe they were, yeah, and it was a good watch.
Yeah. And this is not too far away from Beach's second time round, and still so many horses in with a chance. What a race it was. Foxy Jacks just started to struggle.
Yeah, he did, yeah, and you can see just outside him Chemical Energy and Panda Boy getting quite close together as they head to this 2 fences before Beachers, and Panda Boy gets a little shimmy before he takes off, which is never ideal either.
I tell you what, Delta work, he gave his jockey a great spin today.
Yeah, Jack Kennedy had a super ride on him. Now Mac Tottie pulled up at this stage, but again, everyone, I'd say there's a lot of people thinking here, you know, I have half a chance. Second Beachers, I Am Maximus right down the inside under Paul Townend, and Noble Yeats at the back, and I Am Maximus nods a little bit here. He's just about to take off now in the white cap. The old Beachers, he wouldn't have been in there.
The first 4 home, all Grade 1 winning chases, including a former Gold Cup winner in Minella Indo, who so very nearly gave Rachel Blackmore a 2nd Grand National. Yeah,
she did, as they head at Finehaven. But again, I Am Maximus off to his left. Glengouly starting to run out of petrol. Foxy Jacks makes a mistake, and Chemical Energy struggling as well. But you can see here at the canal turn, and we'll slow it down now in a second, Paul Townend in the white cap, right down the inside, gets a beautiful turn, and it's just exactly the way you'd want it. He's coming in here, he's going to go inside Coko Beach, and when he gets inside him, watch the turn, really tight. And I Am Coko Beach, the grey in front of him, turning helps him turn. That's ideal, so it is.
That's perfection for the canal turn, is it not?
It is, but it happens because you'd know when on his outside that was able to come across him. He was just able to jump and turn himself, and it's great to watch. And Panda Boy made a bad mistake here at the back. The grey horse sideways with JJ Slevin, that was the end of his chance.
Corkscrews a bit. We always talk, and you often share with us your expertise about squeezing the hands, but also you've got to be plotting a route. And with so many runners still going in the Grand National, you've got to be mapping out where you're going.
Yeah, and Roi Mage, who jumped so well last year, makes it, I think it was this fence, maybe it's the next Roi Mage. No, it's the next Roi Mage misses the ditch. But you have to be plotting, and this is unusual. Like AP and Fitzy were talking about it, to have this volume of horses heading to the 4th last. I can't imagine too many people have had to plot this route in the Grand National before.
Absolutely. Eldorado Allen gave Brendan Powell a great spin out in front. Yeah. We lose Glengouly there.
Unseated Michael O'Sullivan there as the loose horse has a nod. Red colours just about to take off, and out the side door he goes. Janidil inside him was struggling, and Limerick Lace outside him was struggling at that point too. But they're heading to the 3rd last now, and Paul Townend has moved out off the inside to get outside Coko Beach, who jumps getting out because he knows Coko Beach is coming back and he wants to get out to get by him.
But I tell you what, as we join it here, now Paul has got off the fence. The story horses, if you like, or a couple of the story horses, Latenightpass for the Ellis family, Kitty's Light for the Williams family, they were banging there.
Banging there is right, and even down here, Paul gets inside, he's stablemate Capodanno, Galvin's outside him, and it gets really tight, but Paul wants to get onto Jack's tail. Delta work was well fancied, and Capodanno is becoming the meat and the sandwich on the bend.
He is scraping the paint there.
He's scraping the paint. But look, Andrew's gotten to the front, she comes over to her brother-in-law Dan Skelton. Rachel Blackmore pokes in now, and Minella Indo. Jack Kennedy's probably thinking I've got some chance, and Kitty's Light down the outside. I'd say Jack Tudor was thinking I'm going to win the national.
There were plenty of people, as we heard from Ed and the team at this stage, no doubt roaring at their TV screens. Does Paul know the gaps are going to open up, or is he hoping the gaps are going to open up?
But on a horse like I Am Maximus, he's probably hoping he can get a lead as long as he can. And again, you see him, he went around Harry Skelton in the yellow. He gets onto the back of Jack Kennedy in the blue cap, and he doesn't. You're thinking, oh, don't go down there, you've run out of room at the elbow. He doesn't. He rides up behind him and switches across then behind Delta Work, behind Minella Indo, and the gap is opening as Kitty Light goes backwards. And actually, the loose horse galloping in front, number, actually not sure what the loose one was, I Am Maximus runs after him, and that was a big help to Paul too, because look, as you said yesterday, they're herd animals, and he's running after the one he's been asked to chase. And
he's won it all, Paul Townend, but he was very animated after the line. This would be somebody. You know what it feels like?
Oh, it's an incredible feeling, but like he gave it a brilliant ride. But you look at the quality of riding we've had all week here, Ollie, tell you the truth, and it's been outstanding. I think a brilliant ride, and Paul Townend, he sets the standard. He is the Irish champion, and I think it's wonderful, but he's also a brilliant ambassador for the sport. So is Rachel Blackmore, Jack Kennedy, first three home. They're incredible people.
And modifications a success?
Sure, it all looks to be a success now. I know I enjoyed watching that race. I think it was a great showpiece for the sport. It's how we advertise the sport, and if that doesn't convince people that this is a wonderful sport, I'm not sure what will.